Warning, don't listen if it's a podcast you want. This is a Chumcast. Just your basic gabfest among chums. A little news, some entertainment, an annoying opinion or two, and, if you're lucky, maybe even a chuckle.
They've done studies, 60% of the time, it works every time.
So it's time to buckle up. Whetstone Entertainment, in association with Is Chill Productions, presents Don't Listen, a basic Chumcast. And here are your hosts, Big Red and The Shebs.
Remember, everyone, just don't be yourselves.
It's showtime.
Go time.
Fire it up, Big Red.
The original head scratcher. It's the Don't Listen Basic Chumcast.
Why are you still listening?
I have no idea. Everybody's dumb. Everybody's dumber than us. Neo Maxi Zoom dweebies is what the world is full of.
Yes.
So it's the Don't Listen Basic Chumcast. I'm Big Red. He's the Shebs. And we are inside the Farmhouse Studios.
Farmhouse.
Redwood City's finest.
Redwood City's finest. Yep. Season one's all about Redwood City.
So my dad would always take us to the farmhouse in Redwood City, which is now a car dealership. He would always take us there because we could fill up on the bread before the soup and the bread and all that before the actual meal came.
And then you take the meal home and have an extra dinner?
Yeah, I mean, there was always scraps to be had at the house afterwards. That was back in the day where they would really load you up.
Yeah.
You got your money's worth. There was the Sizzler.
Yeah.
And then there was the farmhouse.
Yeah.
Right? That place kind of progressed. It got to the point where it was like a club kind of place. Right? Where you could go there and you could get loaded and you could dance with chicks, hang out.
I was a Charlie Brown's guy.
Charlie Brown's was a spot too.
Yes. Yes, the servers had on great outfits.
What were the outfits at Charlie Brown's? I remember that was a party spot. When we were at CSM, that was a
Charlie Brown's
spot.
Was
party.
I mean, it made Hooters look amateur, right? They had very low cut up front and very high cut down low.
Not a bad combo.
They were. It was good.
So, I want to know who brought in the lava lamps today. Whose idea was that?
It's Whetstone, man.
I actually fucking love it. I'm into it.
It's from the 70s, man. Look at it. They're laughing.
So every time, so last time it was the Cassidy guy there with
Leaf Garrett,
and the
Viagra,
Metamucil.
Which you took all the pills.
I did.
So, last week.
Why wouldn't I?
Yeah, Red took all the pills, the Viagra pills.
I'll tell you what, I will pop one of those things just during the day, just for fun.
They're probably not real, They're probably like sweet tarts.
Oh, it's real. I was pitching a tent.
All right.
I mean, just walking around the house.
There you go. That's why you got to wear jeans, man. Got to at least have some sort of pressure.
They weren't real. They were just packages.
Okay.
They were making fun of, they were discriminating against old men.
Oh, that's not cool, guys.
So lava lamps.
Not cool. But lava lamps, yeah.
Lava lamps. It looks like they spent some money on this.
It's a 70s trip. I can't believe we're not even sitting in water beds right here. Yeah.
You did notice the Farrah Fawcett poster, though, right?
I did.
That came from you. That was your idea.
I had the idea last week, but yeah.
And the Viagra pack, you can check that Viagra. There's nothing in there.
No.
There is nothing in there.
Not that I looked, because I don't need it.
Here, I'll show you.
Yeah.
See, there's nothing. They're packages. They're packages.
It's funny.
So someone else is taking the Viagra.
Well, that's the West.
Not the old guys.
You think the young guys are taking Viagra?
I want to say thank you. Dude, I'm telling you, I would have no problem taking a bunch of Viagra. No problem.
No,
I mean,
not when you get older, you don't care what anybody thinks.
I don't even care about anything. I'm just taking whatever. I could take NyQuil. If they put NyQuil on the stand and try to make fun of me, I'll take that too.
There you go.
I'm a junkie.
There you go.
100%.
Fire it up.
Okay, so let me see. Want to thank these guys?
Yeah. Thank you to our friends at Whetstone Entertainment. We have Michael and Doug in the studios, and of course a little smaller group this week from Is Chill. We got Evan, Marcio, Eric, Ryan, and Daniel, and then of course our favorite Rachel sitting over here. Hello, Rachel.
Rachel's leaving, I think.
No, she's staying.
I don't know. She was pretty disgruntled. She was very disgruntled with me in the meeting. She was not having it.
Well, why don't we create a new segment today called "What's Up with Rachel"?
Okay. As she leaves. So here's the deal. We do appreciate what you're doing. With the Whetstone people and the Ishto people. We couldn't do this without them, but really it's about the listeners. These guys have donated a lot of money to the show.
Yeah, it's actually
the Chumcast.
It's making a difference.
The Chumcast. So if you would like to donate to the show, go to the website don'tlistenchumcast.com and just contact us. There's a Venmo there. You can actually sponsor a segment.
Yeah, we're like waiting for the individual, on a previous halftime, an individual sponsoring a segment. Somebody who knows they have something that they suck at something that they can promote how bad they are at something. That's a unique sponsorship. So we're waiting for that. But no, I think it's been awesome.
We're not waiting. We're halfway through. This was the meeting again this week. The meeting that you were not at. We are through next season. We have 2 episodes left of available sponsorships for next season.
Yes.
So but
I looked. There's no individials on there. They're all companies.
Oh no, they're all companies.
Yeah. I'm waiting for an individual to say, you know what, I suck at this. I'm going to sponsor something.
That would be kind of cool.
I'm telling you.
That would, because that's.
But it's been really nice, getting the donations in, helping support this. You're listening for free. Okay, open up your wallet. If you can afford something, just give something. It's good. It's good for you.
It's a mind virus is what we are here.
Oh.
The Chumcast, the Don't Listen Basic Chumcast is a mind virus.
Oh, I didn't think of it like that.
That's why we have to tell everybody not to listen.
Oh.
It's a mind virus and it's very dangerous. And today we're going to stoop to a whole new level of stupid.
Oh, that's fantastic.
What do we have coming up? Without Rachel in here, I feel naked.
She's coming back. Hang on. Just give her. But anyway, come on. You got it. Eric, thank you.
Okay. So we're going to do the power poll today.
Oh, okay.
The WTF power poll. That's going to come up a little bit later. We're also going to do some stuff. We got a lot of feedback this week, and I think that's part of the problem. I'm kind of upset. I would like some of the raw 4-letter words.
You want some unfiltered mail? Huh?
I really do. I think that's important. And
just so everybody knows, they kind of hand us these cards with the from the mail, and it's a summary. It's a summary.
Yeah, they
cherry pick a sentence or something like that.
Right. They orchestrate
you can't read it.
They orchestrate it so that people see us in a certain way. But we're not. Our whole thing going into this was that we didn't want any advertisers or any sponsorships or any of that kind of stuff to get in the way of the content. And, we just wanted it to be raw.
Yeah.
Dude, we're telling people not to listen because it's a show about nothing.
Who was that girl was it Gilroy that kept writing the whole manifesto at us out of the gate? I mean, like one of our first.
Oh my God, that crazy Monica.
Was it Monica?
Yeah. Monica Hall. Hi, I'm Monica Hall. That's what she said. She introduced herself with her full name. More cowbell is going to be great today.
Oh, what do we got?
We're going to do Stallone versus the Terminator.
Nice one. And can I just tell you, by far the most popular segment. That's what we're kind of holding at the end of the show.
Well,
that's smart. See, that's smart of us. It keeps you listening.
Well, we put more effort into that, and that again, I'm not going to toot my own horn, but that comes from me.
It has a great intro. That's why I like it.
They look at me like I say, "Hey,
I got a fever."
I'm telling these guys, 25-year-old is chill people, right? How old is Rachel? Rachel's like the elder statesman. She's like 28 or 27. I don't even know how old she is.
26.
So when I tell them that I want to do an 80s segment on Stallone versus Schwarzenegger, they're like,
okay.
Yeah, they don't even know where to start. And
right.
I'm like, then we get halfway into the research and they're like, holy balls.
There you go.
There's a lot going on there. So that's more cowbell. That's coming up a little bit later. But right now, let's talk about what happened on this day in history.
On this day in history.
And do we have a sponsor, Big Red? We have to.
I think they bailed. We
have no sponsor for this?
Oh, we do have it's Visions Eyewear.
Oh, thank you, Visions Eyewear.
And thank you for the classified documents.
There you go. Still searching for those classified documents, huh? Well, what happened on this day in history?
You know what?
You don't even know what.
Sometimes I just want to get violent.
You just don't even know what happened, do you?
I don't like when people are circulating behind me, breathing down my neck. I'm going to slap you guys. I swear to God. So on this day in history, but when they're not organized enough to give us this stuff in advance, it makes me look like a schmuck, right? Like I don't have my act together.
Well, since we don't have the live video feed, you sound like a schmuck.
Classified documents.
Yes.
They have to be handled with care.
Yes.
And the Chinese spy balloons, they're all over the place too.
Out there, yeah, they're still around.
In 1988,
okay.
Can you guess?
88. Well, Bruce Springsteen's Tunnel Love Tour.
In 88, I think it was still legal to slow dance with a girl at school and pop some wood and grab some ass. Now you're going to jail for that if you're in high school, right?
Yeah, just sit in the middle of the dance floor making out, as a 7th grader. Jesus.
So in 88, Robin Givens demands full access to all of Mike Tyson's money in the divorce.
Full access?
She wants it all.
She wants everything.
Yeah, because it was a phony. Who's marrying Mike Tyson was crazy. He's the world's. In 1986, he wins the heavyweight title. He's the youngest heavyweight champion of all time, and he goes completely berserk from that point on. Robin Givens is hot, dude. What would you be doing with him?
Hot? I don't know.
Oh, I do. I know.
Think?
Yeah, I do. Yes, she's very hot.
And remember the TV show she was on?
I do not.
Head of the Class. Howard Hessman, right?
Oh, from WKRP?
Yeah.
It didn't last long, did it?
He did okay.
Did she take her clothes off?
No.
Not watching. So the marriage with Tyson and Robin Givens lasted for just 1 year, and the divorce was finalized on Valentine's Day in 1989. And she described the marriage almost identically. I'm not married, but all of my past girlfriends have described our relationships the same way that Robin Givens described her marriage with Mike Tyson.
That's the people you've dated?
Would tell you that a relationship with me is pure hell and torture.
And
that's how I get off. That's why I get into relationships. To torture.
And to create some sort of version of hell.
Some sort of
interesting.
Version. Some sort of, yes.
Okay.
What does that make me?
Well, you are a fiery redhead, so at least you got that part right.
And that was on this day in history. And we do have a sponsor. And that sponsor would be... No, that's not it.
It's the Vision one.
No, that's not it.
All right. We're stalling for time. We got to get the right sponsor. We need Rachel back. We get Rachel back. She's the only one on this.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's Visions Eyewear.
Visions Eyewear. Okay.
Yeah. So that was my bad. But that was on this day in history.
The hot mess of a dumpster fire will continue.
You can't trust the media, the politicians, or these two clowns. Don't listen.
People, are you ready? Are you ready?
Nothing, but a whole lot of nothing burger right here. Don't listen.
I would like a little more awesome sauce, please.
Really? Awesome sauce again, huh?
Awesome sauce again. The mind virus that just continues to explode all over everybody continues.
Oh, yeah.
It's the Don't Listen Basic Chumcast. I'm Big Red. He's the Shebs. And stick around because coming up later, the mind virus will explode on you. We are the original head scratcher.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know if anybody has produced to this level anything that sucks as bad.
We've got the power poll coming up a little bit later. That's the WTF power poll. We have also got our look back at the most awesome decade ever, the 80s, more cowbell. We're going to take a look at the careers of Arnold Schwarzenegger and Sylvester Stallone. But right now, it's time for the fishbowl.
The fishbowl?
The booyah and the boom shakalaka.
Oh yeah, the booyah and the boom shakalaka.
And the booyah and the boom shakalaka is being brought to you today by Fastback Industrial Technologies. And what are we talking
All
about?
right, grab a card this time. And I kind of say last week was not cool. It was rigged. He had it taped to the side of the bowl. I did check. Everything is loose leaf. I remixed everything.
I had nothing
Draw
to do with
it.
this.
What do you got?
This is controversial.
What do you got?
Who is more likely to steal from their mother?
Oh, okay.
Nancy Pelosi or Donald Trump?
Really? That's controversial?
It's a classic matchup, if you ask me. I'd be very entertained to see these two get in any ring together, debate, whatever. I'm into it. I would love to see it. So these are two pretty much, everyone's going to have their own opinion about this, but I'm just going to go ahead and walk the plank. So this is a classic matchup between two disgusting modern day American politicians. They got there somewhere. They somehow they got there, right? They got there. They had to step on other people to get this political power that they have, right?
Yeah, all right.
People always, when I travel, especially to the southeastern part of the United States, a lot of people will immediately say, the Bay Area. Never say San Francisco. I say the Bay Area. And they say, oh, yeah, you got that dick Gavin Newsom. Oh, yeah, why don't you take Nancy Pelosi and shove her up your ass? That's the number one thing they want to heckle us about.
That's right.
Right? Number one thing, take your politics and shove it up your ass. And I'm like, did I say I was from the Bay Area? Because I'm really local. I'm really from right next door. I live right next door. I was just kidding about that Bay Area thing. So when we compare these two, I really just kind of want to take a look at the matchup. First, let's take Pelosi. Pelosi, everybody brands her with San Francisco. Well, she's not from San Francisco.
No, she's not, is she?
Baltimore.
That's right.
East Coast. So the Pelosis are from a very upscale, very wealthy area of the shitbox that we call Baltimore.
Mm-hmm.
Ever been to Baltimore?
The airport, yes.
It does not count. Have you ever spent any time in Baltimore?
No, just driving from the airport out to D.C.
Riddled with crime, and it is a shithole. So I am just inviting the people from Baltimore that are listening to the Chumcast to just rip me a new a-hole. But it is a dump. There's no reason to go. I understand why the Pelosis came to San Francisco. I get it. So here's the background on the Pelosis. They lived in the most wealthy district of Baltimore, and the Pelosi family got wealthy off of running heroin from Mexico into California. This goes a couple of generations back, but they ran Baltimore. I think it was the mayor of Baltimore, right?
Right.
But,
they were in politics back there.
Yeah, but they were running it pretty good. And the heroin thing was a big deal. It was coming from Mexico. It was a big money maker. Somebody got on the board. One of the Pelosis got on the board of supervisors in San Francisco, which is what brought, I believe it's Nancy Pelosi's father. So that's what brought the Pelosis out to San Francisco, where Nancy Pelosi ended up becoming a politician. Mm-hmm. The bottom line with that is that she's East Coast. She is not from San Francisco. She's a transplant.
Right.
Okay. So whenever you're somewhere and someone says, oh, take Nancy Pelosi and shove her, or, whatever they're going to say, you say, guess what? Nancy Pelosi's from Baltimore.
Yes.
Right.
Thank you very much.
So their money, that family money, comes from heroin. Now let's look at Trump.
Okay.
Now let's take a look at good old Don. The Donald. Yeah. I mean, this is terrible. When we're writing this, I'm saying to these kids, to Whetstone and to the Ishtil people, I'm saying, can't we do better than these two creeps? So Donald Trump's dad is an immigrant who comes over, runs the worst parts of the slums of New York City, gets into the real estate there. Apparently he's a pretty hard to get along with guy.
Yeah.
Right. Very authoritative. Not the easiest guy in the world to get along. So here's this screw up kid, Donald, who is very mediocre. He's not very smart. He's not well regarded. He's not doing anything spectacular with his life. You can kind of compare him a little bit to a Hunter Biden, right?
Okay.
When you come from some money, it's always kind of difficult for those kids, all right? There's a lot of expectations on them. So Trump the thing that Donald Trump really does the best is, his dad is making his money off of the real estate in New York.
Mm-hmm.
So Donald inherits all this money. And he loses it. He bankrupts everything. So have you ever been to the Taj Mahal? Did you ever go to the Taj Mahal in Atlantic City?
No, never did.
Okay. So have you ever been to the Trump Hotel in Vegas?
I've never been to a Trump hotel.
So it just reeks of Orange Man. Like it just reeks of Donald Trump, screw you. Screw you. So the Taj Mahal, he bankrupted everything, right? He lost all that money. So we have these two people, right? We have these two different families. We have one who got wealthy in Baltimore based off of the cheap shipping price of heroin coming into the United States, right? That's how they climbed to the top. Then you have the other side here where they got on top by, jacking up the price of the slums of real estate in New York City, right? Donald Trump just inherited it.
Right.
Right. And lost it. Inherited it and lost it. So my thing here is I think we can do better. I think we can do better. What happened to the Abe Lincolns? What happened to the, it's really kind of hard.
They don't have the ability to raise as much money. So
that's right.
That's all about money.
That's right.
It's all, everything. They stay where they're at because they're able to raise money.
And how does a person with the resume of Donald Trump bankrupting, so he can raise enough money so he can run for president, right? With no political resume at all.
Right.
With none, not one experience, none experience. Actually, sometimes that can be better. That could actually be better.
Yeah, he was a totally different force though. Because he the problem is that why everybody had trouble going up against him was because he lied, meaning he just made stuff up.
Right. For the fun of it.
Just made, and no one knew how to respond. And they just couldn't. I mean, everybody was trying to compete on what they did in real life, and Trump was just saying stuff, whatever came out, and they did not know how to respond. Other people loved it, and just money poured in, and they got the votes. And there you go.
Which basically is politics, right? I mean, it's basically politics. Both of these individuals have had their. I mean, I will talk about Nancy Pelosi. I think all of us were, watching Donald Trump give a State of the Nation is kind of mind-boggling, but to have her rip up the script, it's kind of childish, right? It's kind of out of decorum, right? So both of these, I think the reason why they don't like each other and they don't get along so well is because they're similar. There's some similarities there, right? But the question here is, well, I think we can do better, obviously, but the question here is, who's more likely to steal from their mom? Nancy or Donald? The Donald.
I mean,
think about it. Who's more likely to do that? I mean, they're both probably pretty good at it. You don't get that kind of political power without taking something.
I'm gonna give the edge to Donald on that.
I think I am too.
Yeah, I think Donald will do whatever. I don't know if Nancy's to that level. I mean, they're very. You remember Nancy's politics and political power is based on not a national vote, right? It's a local vote. It's the
district in San Francisco she represents.
Yeah, so there really are two different types of animals, but
is what puts you what puts you into the Donald Trump? Is it his vote, casting your vote for Donald Trump? Is that the fact that he says that we should just grab their pussies?
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. It's.
Can you imagine?
I think he just it's all about him, right? So it's not. It's obvious. I mean, he's just about himself.
Well,
right?
I'm going to just say this much.
So I would think if something would benefit him regardless, right? I mean, look how just from his relationships with his wives and
Stormy Daniels,
it's everybody's kids. I mean, it's just.
If you look at his resume, if the becoming president was based on a resume, there's lack of respect for women. There's bankrupting the Taj Mahal and every other piece of land you've ever inherited money. Never earned his own money, got it from his dad. If you look at that, there's no way that a guy like that becomes president of the United States, which is really the ruler of the free world.
But also remember, he knew more about Afghanistan than any of the generals. No one knew more about Afghanistan than he does. So, again, when you have statements like that, you say, hey, yeah, all right. He knows most about, he knows more than generals do, so let's vote him in.
He's half Afghani.
Yeah. There you go. Anyway, I just think this is... Donald's a different creature. He's on a plane by himself, if you ask me. So
I'm gonna go with I wouldn't trust either one of them. I'm gonna go with who's gonna steal from their mom. I think both of them have done their fair share. I don't like any politician. I don't care who they are, and I don't care who they are. I think politics is a dirty business, and part of that is, like you said, it's raising money. It's all there's so much money that's in politics, right? There's so much money that's in politics. If their mom had $1 million in the corner, I think both of their hands would be in the cookie jar.
And I know we're supposed to wrap this up, but I would just say, and this could be for a whole nother segment, right? It's all about the money, but remember the other piece to the puzzle is
what?
Because you don't necessarily have to get anything done, right? Congress has an 18% approval rating, but everybody gets reelected.
Yeah.
Right? It's the gerrymandering, right? Everybody is in safe districts. So when you're an incumbent, you will just win re-election whether you do good or you not do good. Doesn't matter. So it's about the money, and the gerrymandering protects them, and everything stays about the money. So there you go.
And that was the Booyah and the Boom Shakalaka. And it was brought to you by our friends at Fastback Industrial Technologies.
The Don't Listen Basic Chumcast.
Just the latest batch of insanity. Don't listen.
3, 2, 1, go!
Taboo, voodoo, and boohoo. Don't fucking listen.
You got to have more cowbell, Red. Big Red, you got to have more cowbell.
Shut up and pass the awesome sauce.
Okay, here you go.
It's the original head scratcher. The Don't Listen Basic Chumcast. I'm Big Red. He's the Shebs, and it's time to buckle up. Coming up, we're gonna get into Holla.
Yep.
Right. But coming up right now, and the Power Poll. We got the Power Poll coming up.
Excellent.
But right now, it's time to get back into the decade of decadence.
Yes.
The 1980s with more cowbell.
I have a fever, and the only prescription is more cowbell.
More cowbell.
Guess what? I got a fever, and the only prescription is more cowbell.
It's being brought to you today by Slick Rick's Monster Salads and Subs.
Monster Salads and Subs. I have not had Slick Rick's. I'm gonna go there after the show.
It's right down my alley.
There we go. Okay. What do we got today?
Okay, so it's Schwarzenegger versus Stallone.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Two of probably the biggest movie stars in the 1980s. In their remarkable careers, Sly has grossed $1.8 billion. Arnold is at $1.7 billion, but Arnold has had far less films. Remember his break. He came to California to be our
governor. The Governator.
The Governator.
The Governator.
That was wasn't that that was not during our youth and government days, was it?
No. We were out of there by then. Yeah, that was after.
So, they did about the same, 1.8 billion to 1.7 billion, but you got to eliminate those 8 or 10 years or however long
where he didn't produce. Okay.
Where he didn't do any kind of films. So looking at the scope of both of these careers, it actually could take moons because they really owned the 1980s. But let's start with Stallone. Stallone's numbers, they're no joke, right? And we're just taking the 80s, right? But Rocky II was in 1979.
Okay.
We start with Nighthawks in 1981. And Escape to Victory, which was also known as Victory, right? That was with Pele and Michael Caine.
Yep, that was the soccer one, right?
Right. That was in 81. Those are Nighthawks and Escape to Victory are both in 1981. 48 million combined on a $15 million budget. So he's making money right out of the gate, right? And this is after Rocky. So by the way, Rocky was in 1976. Fist was in 1978 with Rocky II in 79. So 3 winter films are already under Stallone's belt.
And don't forget, he's got the Academy Award, right? He's got the statue, right, for Rocky?
You might be right.
Yeah. I mean, so he's, and Arnold hasn't gotten one of those. So I'm just saying, but that was, early on, right? That's his.
Yeah. Right out of the gate, he's on fire.
He's on fire.
Right. So, and then in 1982, it's already time for Rocky III.
Yes. And that was that.
Mr. T.
Oh, that's the 80s right there.
Mr. T. The budget was 17 million. This is mind boggling. The budget is 17 million. The actual is 270 million.
Yeah.
I mean, so he wrote it, produced it, directed, and starred. Then also splitting 1982 is First Blood, a $15 million budget. The actual $125 million.
First Blood was huge.
So he's like a Brinks truck,
right? Became a franchise. We just talked, last week about franchises. This
4 sequels,
right?
4 sequels. So they're loving him. In 1983, he tries to do the Staying Alive film.
Right. He wrote that or directed that, right?
He directed Travolta.
Right.
Travolta was in the film. He co-produced, he co-wrote this sequel to
Staying Alive,
Saturday Night Fever.
Right? There you go.
Nobody knows that, right? It's a $22 million budget and it does $127 million. So they're slobbering over this guy in Hollywood.
Right.
He's making these studios all kinds of money. But he's making himself all kinds of money because he's producing, he's directing, he's writing, he's doing all this stuff for himself. So the big thing that came out of it was kind of a dud. Staying Alive was not critically acclaimed, but his brother got the song in the movie.
His brother?
Yeah, he got his younger brother, Frank Stallone.
I remember Frank.
And the name of the song was Far From Over. And it was a top 10 hit.
Really?
Yeah. And that might be the only thing we ever
I remember
heard.
Frank Stallone. I didn't know he was all right.
So let's see. So he took another shot. We're talking about Sylvester Stallone. He took another shot at a musical along with Dolly Parton in a movie called Rhinestone.
Yeah, I remember that.
First bomb. This 84. It's like 10 years in, and it's his first bomb. But Dolly scored 2 top 10 hits, 2 top 10 singles, and
it just wasn't a good character fit for him.
This is in 84.
Yeah.
And in 85 he comes back with 2 retreads, First Blood Part 2 and Rocky IV.
Yeah.
So he's getting back on track.
But both were very good though too.
Very good.
Right, Fights Drago. Yeah.
I can't complain about one of the Rocky first 5 movies at all.
And don't forget, out of Rocky IV, he gave us the World Survivor. Great.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, with the glasses wearing keyboardist trying to look tough, right? Yeah, you can't look tough with glasses.
Survivor had a moment.
They had their moment, yeah.
I mean, that song was ridiculous.
But visually, you look like them. All right.
Yeah. Don't judge.
I'm not judging.
Don't judge. So he ruled the 80s. He was pretty strong.
And did Cobra come up on your list?
Yeah, he rounded out the 80s with
mirrored sunglasses and a toothpick. Yeah,
Cobra, which was great.
It's okay.
Cobra, yeah. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Over the Top.
I think we saw it together.
Over the Top.
Over the Top. Yeah,
that was
that's
about the arm wrestling,
right?
Thing.
Yeah.
And then Tango and Cash. And Lockup.
Oh yeah, Lockup. I remember that.
Lockup was good too.
Yeah. What about Just Stop or My Mom Will Shoot? Is that 90s?
I don't know.
Yeah, because that was a bomb.
The only possible actor who could top this would be Arnold.
Sure.
For the 80s.
But they were just going back and forth.
So they didn't like each other. They were rivals, right? Arnold came to play. There's
friendly rivals. Come on.
We'll find out a little bit about this. So Arnold came to play. There's no question about it. He's from Austria and from steroids. We know that much.
Yes. And where did he get his start? Was it Conan? What was the first thing he did? Was that 70s too?
Okay, so he started making miracles happen with Conan the Barbarian and Conan the Destroyer, which was like 1982-ish.
Okay, so that started him off, right?
Yeah, 82 and 84, but he's not an actor.
Right.
He's just showing up as a big beef, a big
and going
Terminator type,
going,
right?
Yeah, with swinging a sword.
Those Conan the Barbarian and the Destroyers are 82 and 84, and nobody thought that he was an actor. But then the Terminator came out in 84.
There you go.
Which 6.4 was the budget. 6.4 million was the budget, and it took home 78.3.
Wow.
So there's your launching point.
Oh, there you go, right? And just a local part of that movie at the end. The ending scene was filmed in Fremont.
What was the end of that movie?
Where they're going through running through the factory and chasing them and.
Oh, it was a Fremont warehouse or whatever.
Yes, yeah, right here in the Bay Area.
So Arnold has some ties to Northern California as well.
He did, but anyway, that show was. Launched them right out, right?
Oh man, I can't even count the number of times that I saw that movie.
And then here we talk about franchises again, right? This became a franchise.
Holy moly.
Yeah.
So that's his franchise. Like Rambo was Stallone's, this is his. So after the Terminator in 84, it was Red Sonja, which was a bust.
Mm-hmm.
$18 million budget. It only did $7 million. Commando, which was in 1985, and that was made strictly to compete against First Blood.
There you go. And Commander did okay.
It was good.
Yeah. Excuse my friend, he's dead tired. I mean, come on.
Yeah, this is where the lines really start picking up some speed.
Now, being an aviation,
being
an aviation enthusiast, I mean, this is where he rides on the nose wheel of a Western Airlines DC-10 and taking off from LAX and drops into the swamp. Come on.
Yeah. I love that shit. I just love that. I ate that shit up all day.
Hey, let's go. Goes flying into the swamp. But he's fine.
So directly, it was made to directly compete against Stallone in his First Blood. It did $25 million against a $9 million budget. It was a critical and commercial success.
And Alyssa Milano, remember her? She was the kid in it, in Commando.
But you have to note that the first dynamic difference that we're seeing between Stallone and Schwarzenegger is that Schwarzenegger is showing up on sets and just doing the acting. Stallone was doing it all. He was writing, he was developing, he was producing, he was directing, he was doing it all. So there's a distinct difference between the two of them. In 1986, it's Raw Deal. Negative reviews, but it did double the budget.
Yep.
But 1987 was the big year for Schwarzenegger. Predator, $15 million budget, $100 million actual, and your favorite part of the story, the Predator franchise.
There you go.
So it went ballistic. The video games, the comics, the games, the toys, and then maybe my favorite movie was also in 87 with Richard Dawson.
Yeah, Running Man. Oh. Yeah, that's right.
I'll be back.
Yeah. The lines keep coming, right?
So they ripped off Stephen King. That was a Stephen King book.
Oh, was it really?
And they got in a lot of trouble.
I didn't know
for
that.
plagiarizing Stephen King's. It was there was. I don't really even want to get into this because I don't really know enough about it, but they got in a little bit of trouble for ripping off a 1982 Stephen King novel, and they did make about $12 million against budget. That movie looked like
I thought it made more. I would have thought that one made more. That was a real popular one.
I was just going to say the same thing.
Yeah.
But Richard Dawson had to take his cut.
Oh, yeah.
There was no game show host like Richard Dawson back in the day.
He was the man, right?
And he played a great evil genius in that movie.
He did, but boy, on Family Feud, boy, kissing all the ladies, he was fantastic, you know.
Smooth.
Yeah, and did great. Again, love the guy in Hogan's Heroes, but boy, he was great as a game show host.
And in 1988, to end the decade, it was Red Heat with James Belushi.
Yeah, there you go.
Started out at number 1, but Arnold's other movie in '88 topped it. It was called Twins.
Oh yes, the first venture into like the comedic. Danny DeVito,
and it worked.
It absolutely worked because he kind of played a little straight, a little, you know.
It worked.
It's a straight, you know. With twins.
So this is really no contest. It's all Sylvester Stallone. I mean,
if you ask me, I think yes. This scope of what, like you said, what he was doing. But Schwarzenegger then on the backside, right? You think Stallone could have been governor? No. Stallone had the political, you know, call to action. Schwarzenegger, excuse me, yeah. Schwarzenegger had the political side of things. Married Maria Shriver, a Kennedy, right? President's Council of Fitness, Physical Fitness. I mean, just you really kind of he did his own other stuff, but it wasn't in the movie and movie industry, right?
Yeah. So I take that's a point well taken. I will just say that there's no comparison here because Stallone was writing, was producing, was directing. He was doing the whole thing, right?
Right.
And Schwarzenegger was basically showing up and doing his deal,
doing
right?
the acting.
And I will say that he's not going to be governor of any other state but California.
Right.
He's not getting elected anywhere else but in California.
No. And then, of course, you know, and maybe for a future segment as you get out of the 80s, they start working together on some stuff too. Right?
There was an actual rivalry going on between the two of them. They actually have the same plastic surgeon.
Well, Schwarzenegger talks about how he kind of tricked Stallone into doing Stop or My Mom Will Shoot. You know, they were kind of this back and forth. Who could make the movie with the bigger guns, blowing up the bigger things, right? And just kept going on and on and on. But no, it was. I think it both really defined the '80s. But you know, Stallone, hats off. There you go.
And that was our '80s segment, More Cowbell, and was brought to you by our friends at Slick Rick's Monster Salads and Subs.
Don't listen, Chumcast.com.
Jesus, take the wheel. Don't listen.
3, 2, 1, jump!
Follow us on Facebook, subscribe on YouTube, and let's get stupid.
What the Power Pole?
What the Fuck Power Pole is being brought to you by our friends at Full Throttle Auto Repair. So we want you to vote on, we want you to discuss our Power Pole question, which today is Donald Trump or Nancy Pelosi more likely to steal from their mom?
All right.
So go to don'tlistenchumcast.com, look for the WTF Power Poll, cast your vote, and discuss below.
Key's going to be, I think we should do some.
Key's going to be.
Look at where the listeners are chiming in from. Right now it's been mostly the West Coast, right? the Bay Area. It's the majority. We have people all over the place, which has been nice. But I think that's what's going to give the edge to Trump on that one. Just the demographics of who's participating in our sucky Chumcast.
Okay.
Just thought I'd throw that out there. A little good knowledge.
Are you going to pass the awesome sauce?
I did already. I already did. So, all right, good pull. Let's see what happens.
So let's get into holla. So we do have a sponsor for holla, believe it or not.
We do?
Well, but
who wants to sponsor a segment of people telling us how bad we are? Well, you're bad. I'm not too bad, but you're bad.
It's being brought to you today by Everything Extra Large Apparel.
Ah, that's why they like you.
That's why they like me.
Yeah.
So holla, we're going to find out how much they like me. Have you got anything?
They gave me 2.
Okay, we'll start because I don't have anything.
We got Alan from Washington. I think it's D.C. Went to school with you both. Too funny.
Alan. What Alan did you
I don't know. I'm going to go back to the yearbooks now.
Oh, Alan, the guy that they based the character on the Hangover on.
No.
Alan.
Not Alan.
The one-man wolf pack.
If it's Alan's real name, we'll go through the yearbook. Alan, we'll try to figure out which Alan you are, but that's the nice. Thank you for saying that you're listening. Thank you.
So not all of our classmates, our old classmates or our family members make it onto the Chumcast.
No, it's a variety.
But I am telling you, a lot of people from our past are haunting us. People that we did not realize were listening to the Chumcast are listening to it.
And
donating.
And we don't know if the names are real or not, but there were Allens in our class, so maybe Alan's real. We'll find out. Alan, if you're out there, just send us a separate note. We'll keep it off the air. We'll keep it off the program. Give us your last name just to confirm.
Thank you. Okay, right. They handed me a piece of paper here. So slightly inappropriate joke. Oh my God, why do you guys hand me the negative? So slightly inappropriate joking about Chinese spy balloons and classified documents. Laughing as America crumbles. Not cool. Jake in Arizona.
Arizona, not bad. That's typical Arizona.
You know what happens if you can't laugh?
You cry.
Yeah, come on.
Well, you're not the only one that gave negative. I got a negative one. Well, it's not. Well, it's negative. But Tina in Oakland, local girl.
Yep.
Can I get my money back?
Of course not.
No, we've already donated it to the Michael J. Fox Foundation.
And the whole thing we're talking about here is don't listen.
Yeah. So you've been fairly warned. What you want to really take money? Want to go back and ask for money back for you that from the Michael J. Fox Foundation that ensures development of improved therapies for people with Parkinson's. Yeah. You really want us to go back and say, no, Tina wants her money back? Come on.
And we're saying don't listen, and we're still doubling down on the awesome sauce here.
We are. Well, that's all I have. What do you got any more?
Let's see here. Dropped 500. Whoa, okay. Dropped 500 into the Venmo.
Really?
But if you let them continue to censor you, not continue. If you let them censor you, my support ends. You need a ton of social media help, but your honest content makes up for it. That's from Ron in Billings.
Okay, so that would be the biggest donation. I don't think we've even...
It's not.
It's not?
No. We have corporate donations.
Oh, nice.
It's not, but the point here is that he does not want us to be censored.
Okay.
I'm very surprised that they allowed me to read that. They're normally trying to chisel us on.
Do you feel censored?
Yes, I do. I want this to be raw.
We should talk about it our next production meeting then. If you're feeling that way, let's talk about your feelings.
Let's see.
I'm sure Michael and Doug. You see, Michael and Doug, they want to talk about your feelings. They don't want to censor you.
They don't care about me.
They care about you.
Just found you, and it was on the awesome sauce list.
Oh.
Not the suck list.
We're not on the suck list anymore?
You guys make me LOL. This is from the Queen in London.
The Queen in London.
Yeah. See, this is kind of cool too. So people they'll give us like some character. And
there's several. I saw that.
So
I noticed that some people. I mean, sometimes you can tell they're kind of making a name up, right?
Well, this is obviously the Queen in London.
Francisco from San Francisco. Come on, please.
Gave you $10, but if you will step up your game on the website, I will double it. Deal? That's from Missy in NYC.
All right. New York. Have we had a New York yet on the... We had New York people, but I don't know. We made it to the air. Okay.
It's not air. This is just a Chumcast.
That's a Chumcast.
It made it to the cricket farm.
Two guys talking. Just two guys talking about the 80s and growing up in the Bay Area.
Whoop.
A song. There it is.
You're starting to clue in on that.
And we've had no dramatic pauses today.
So that does it for the Chumcast. We'll catch you next time. And if you're overwhelmed, if you're sad, depressed, don't even think about it. Call the Suicide Prevention Hotline at 866-903-3787. And remember that all that we want is on the other side of fear.
Bye, Felicia.
Don't listen. A Basic Chumcast has been an exclusive presentation of Whetstone Entertainment in association with Is Chill Productions. Subscribe, follow, like, and share us while on your favorite social media hangouts and our YouTube channel. We're not into begging, but if you like us, review us and support us by continuing to check us out on your favorite podcast platforms. Find more fun and hit us with your feedback at don'tlistenchumcast.com.
Yeah, that's fantastic.